In the heart of Whispering Woods lived a tiny owl named Milo. He was round, fluffy, and had eyes the size of giant gobstoppers. And more than anything, he wanted to fly. Every morning, he'd perch on the edge of his nest, take a deep breath, and flop! He'd tumble onto a soft bed of moss below, dust himself off, and try again. His first brilliant idea was to use big, sturdy oak leaves as wings. He carefully attached one to each of his tiny wing nubs with sticky sap. He wiggled his bottom, took a running start off a low branch, and leaped into the air. For a glorious second, he glided. Then, a sudden gust of wind caught his leafy wings and flipped him upside down. He spun like a top before landing softly in a pile of his own handiwork. Plan A. Failure. Next, Milo decided he needed more bounce. He gathered a collection of springy mushrooms, arranging them like a little trampoline. He climbed to a branch high above, took aim, and jumped. Boing! Boing! He bounced higher and higher, giggling with delight. But on his third bounce, he misjudged his landing and shot sideways, ricocheting off a tree trunk and sliding down a long, slippery vine, landing headfirst in a bush full of berries. He emerged looking like a purple-spotted creature from another planet. Plan B. A very sticky situation. Then came the day of the great dandelion experiment. Milo figured if he could just grab enough fluffy dandelion seeds, they would carry him away like 1,000 tiny parachutes. He spent hours collecting them, stuffing them into a little sack made of bark. With the sack tied around his waist, he climbed to the very top of his tree, waited for a breeze, and jumped, opening the sack as he fell. Poof! A cloud of white fluff exploded around him. It was beautiful, magical, and completely useless for flight. He sneezed a dozen times as he floated gently back down to the ground. Feeling a bit discouraged, Milo sat on a branch, watching the world go by. That's when he noticed a tiny nest just a few branches away. Inside was a baby robin, even smaller than him. The little robin wobbled on the edge of its nest, its tiny wings fluttering nervously. It chirped, looked at its parents, and then it pushed off. Its wings beat in a clumsy, frantic rhythm. But it was flying. It wasn't graceful, it wasn't perfect, but it was in the air. Milo watched, mesmerized. He hadn't seen any grand contraptions or clever tricks. The robin just flapped. Milo looked at his own wings. They were small, sure, but they were there. He mimicked the robin, giving a little flap, then another. He felt a tiny lift. He closed his big, round eyes, took a deep breath, and jumped. He flapped. He flapped like he'd never flapped before. He wobbled. He dipped. He swerved wildly to the left, narrowly avoiding a grumpy squirrel. But he wasn't falling. He was flying. He let out a joyful hoot that echoed through the woods. The wind whistled past his feathers, and the world below looked like a patchwork quilt. He wasn't using leaves or mushrooms or dandelions. He was just using himself. From that day on, Milo the little owl soared through the skies, a reminder that sometimes the simplest way is the best way. Thanks for watching our story. If you loved Milo's adventure, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more tales from Whispering Woods. We'll see you next time.